Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mark. We're back here for the daily recap. It is Wednesday. These days are like marathon days. A lot of action happens. You gotta stay on top of things. You can't be tired. It's really you gotta stay on your toes. Really, quite frankly, we had basically had a 400-point turnaround today. We were up at the open. Basically, went down 200 and change to almost close up 200 and change. I think we closed up 130, 140 in that range. But you can see that tail on the spiders. And, we had some massive selling right away. And it was mainly all high beta initially. First I was saying that Facebook probably needs a break, possibly a little bit of a short. And you could just see it came in right away, and it came down almost to 110 area. Amazon really got hit, one of the hardest at a high beta. Actually broke its 200-day moving average for the first time in a while. It actually went way, 10 points below there, but then it hung right about there. So, in my opinion, it should try to find some new level right around here. But we'll have to wait and see. It obviously is a broken chart regardless. And, 130 point, 140 point, downturn from 680, so almost 700. So almost, 170 point downturn. Pretty impressive on the downside. Google was also weak today. More sell on the news, even though it had good earnings. It doesn't matter. They are just trying to sell things, reduce positions that they can get rid of. This tape is definitely tricky and it's slippery. You got to respect that, and you got to just trade accordingly. Tesla, one of the worst also, and didn't really recover much. High beta did not really come back that much. One of the few that did, NFLX, actually came back a little bit after, went down, and so it held that 90 level for at least the time being. High beta in general needs time across the board. What did move up is oil. Oil stocks, USO obviously gapped up this morning, and actually I think went negative for a second for a blip into that number. But it held out and it actually gained some traction. And you could see even some of the oil stocks, which I haven't really been trading because I think it's a little bit more of a waste of time right now. Chevron, Slumber, Vielo, when I saw it got hurt, so it still stayed down. But you had some oil stocks that actually had some moves, and then you had the biotechs. They made a quick move, and then they really didn't do anything the rest of the day. You could see the nice reversal in the IBB. CELG had a nice move, to at least new lows, and then they came back into its base, and which is a good sign. Gilead actually is in that gap and trying to get into that push. Then you have BIB, which they are not acting as well. But either way, the biotechs had their move across the board. We're still nowhere in the SPYs, guys. I put up the spider chart just so you can see. We've held that level now 2 days in a row, even though we broke it. That 190 seems to be holding. But I think we need a lot more time. And based on what I'm seeing, the action I'm seeing, the charts I'm seeing, I would expect a lot more of this volatility to continue. And don't think it's changing anytime soon. So expect 150, 200 point moves either direction. Be prepared for both directions, in my opinion, because we are getting both nice two-way action if you're prepared. What's happening is we push it a little further on the downside, and most likely when we get to the upside, they're probably going to go a little further also. That's just how these things trade. It's a little bit of a rubber band, and then you obviously have all the programs trading it accordingly. So that's where we're at right now. Not much change in the spiders besides obviously having a nice round trip both ways, from up to down, down to up. IWM is still lagging for the most part, but it's back in that base. And Qs were actually the weakest today. It actually closed negative, but that was mainly, I think, for most of the high beta stocks. So, the other indice that was strong and had a nice comeback and, was down big this morning, Goldman Sachs, the banks. Goldman, Citigroup had a nice turnaround and went green for a little while. JP Morgan. Chart-wise, broken chart still, so nothing there. But again, you're getting some movement, you're getting some volatility, and you're getting some action to trade. So hopefully you're able to take advantage of it. Definitely, you have to be on your toes and have to have your A game for these type of days, because they are wild, they are volatile, and they do tend to last a long time. So hopefully you guys took advantage of it. I will see you all tomorrow.